छाया आसमां में, देखो झूमता गगन, हे छाया आसमां में, देखो झूमता गगन,
Hello, 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 hello. All right, we had some technical difficulties. Hopefully they're all straightened out now. Can anyone hear me? Let me see is there anybody here? All right, yeah, there was a name earlier. Okay, we got a few more names, great. And yeah, the microphone, like everything came unplugged. Can anybody hear me? Say hello, hello, hello. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's me, Namira. I can't remember, but you're first in line. You are the first one here, so you are first in line. Do I have your digits? I think I do, because I think we went through this whole how do I pronounce your name thing. I could be wrong, though. All right, so let's take a look and see who else we got. It is Wednesday. Welcome, July. And I see Mr. Reborn is here. What's going on, Mr. Reborn? And everybody, just in case you don't know, Jesus loves all of us. All right, Namira, Uganda, 4 a.m. Very good. Yes, happy Wednesday. Healing readings by Donna Marie. What's going up, Donna Marie? Let's see, Lillian Phillips. Yeah, so it's first come, first serve. If you haven't been here before, birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state, I do look at your astrology chart. If you don't have a birth time, just be honest and say you don't have your birth time. And I will give you a noon hour chart. Okay, birth time's most accurate. So with that said, we're gonna begin. We do this on Saturday. We do this, yeah, usually Mondays, Tuesdays, or Wednesdays during the week. No problem. Let's see, Donna's passing. Okay. All right, so as you look in the chat, you gotta get your name in the chat in order to get the reading. That's how this works. Get your name in the chat. Make sure I got your digits, okay? And if you're not going, just say, hey, I'm passing. Yeah, Donna, the next astrology class is on Saturday. Thank you for asking that question. Saturday, the 11th. Yeah. So the second Saturday of every month, we do an astrology class. Yeah. Saturday nights. Yep. And on the other Saturdays, first and the third Saturday, we do this. And the fourth Saturday, we are doing the same thing, but it's in a private live. Okay. So there's lots of opportunities, lots of different ways to get some astrology in your life if you can't afford a one-on-one. Yeah, Donna, send the money, and then so once you send the money, you get the link. Anybody got questions about that? Just shoot me an email, and I don't abuse the emails, folks. Just so y'all know, it's really just to have a private conversation to help people communicate and understand. Because you got questions, just go to there. Questions pertinent to the other offerings, right? If you have something that's about this right here, right now, put it in the chat. That's how we do this. Unless you need to go and put your, birth digits to the email, that's fine too. But yeah, astrology questions and for serious inquiries only, please. All right. So let's see. We are beginning. Okay, so for those of you who have your digits in, great. Make sure you got a birth location. And then, yeah, this person did a good example. They want to know, do I have foreign travel opportunity? Yeah, give me one or two words as to what your question is about if you have a question. Otherwise, I just go with like what comes through as to what jumps out of your chart. Something usually jumps out, and that's what I talk about. And sometimes you hear about that weather. Yeah, that's just life. we just, I got to do what I'm doing. But yeah, perfect way of putting that. And yeah, you need the city where you're born. And sometimes if the astrology doesn't recognize it, I might have to say, hey, is there another, some places they say, oh, they're called this or it's called that. And then we put that in and it works. So you got to kind of listen and pay attention. Okay. All right. So let's get started with it's me. Namira, I forget, but let's get your chart up here. Let me see if I have you in here. I think I do. And let's see what's going on for you on this Wednesday afternoon. Oh, I do. September 20th. Excellent. Yay. And it worked out, right? You're here, I'm here. Yay, yay, yay. Sometimes it just doesn't, man. Things happen in people's lives and we get caught up, we get carried away, we get distracted. Choose a window. Oh, hold on a second, folks. Hold on a second. Let's do this instead. Let's get this chart on the screen. Okay, hold on a second. This is why I didn't go do my live stream yesterday. I was having a lot of tech issues and I had it this morning and then it kind of eased and went away. And I thought, oh, will it be okay? Right now I'm doing some weird shit. I don't know what's going on. It won't let me select the chart. Oh my God, really? Okay, hold on. Okay, have patience, folks. We're going to get there. Don't know how for sure, but we're going to get there. Yeah. Well, I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll do it and we'll see what happens. I don't know what the hell's going on. This is so weird. Like the screen is completely like translucent gray right over and it's doing weird shit. Oh my God. Oh shit. I'm waiting. It said, okay, are you sharing? This is so strange. Okay. Yeah. How unfortunate. And yeah, I don't even know where the hell I went now. Huh. Wow. Isn't this something? Oh my God. Well, this is awkward. I'm just saying. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Wow. I have no freaking clue what the flying fluck is going on. What the hell? Wow. Yeah, that's unfortunate, huh? Well, here's a quick astrology lesson. I'm going to keep trying, but here's a quick astrology lesson, like for anybody who's been here before. Well, actually, hold on. Let me see if we can do this. I keep messing with this. Nope. Alrighty. Huh. Interesting, right? Like it just doesn't want to happen. No, that ain't gonna happen either. Okay. Wow. Some funny business going on. Oh, well, I'm trying multiple times here. Okay, it won't let me do that. All right. Wow, it's just taking me in a freaking root, a circle. I'm in this vicious circle. And somehow, yeah, this is not ideal at all. I'm just trying everything now as opposed to what I would normally do because what I would normally do isn't working. So I'm just trying some other shit. And it's like, this is strange. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess. Yeah. This is unfortunate. This is crazy. Okay. Well, yeah. That is so totally not what I'm trying to do. Okay. Wow, this sucks. All right, let me see what this one will give me. Oh, it's the same damn thing. Well, let me try it from this angle. No. Okay, so no, we don't want to do entire screen. I know that much. Yeah, well, how about this? How about you're stuck looking at me? I can still see your chart. So that's what we're going to do. Your chart will not be on the screen because I think that's probably going to be less time consuming. What do y'all think about that? I think that's what I'm doing. Either that or, yeah. Okay. So, Myra, did you give me a thing? Happy Wednesday. I love the music. Thank you for telling me you can hear me. Myra, there we go. Is this Mercury retrograde? What is it? Is this? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely it is. Yeah. And here's a great astrology lesson, right? Mercury retrograde. It's in my third house. Great example is what's going on here right now, right? Perfect example of it. But is that your question for you, Namira? Is that what your question is? Like, you want me to look at your chart to talk about that Mercury retrograde? So, right now you have, well, we're just going to go with what jumps up because you didn't really seem to have a question and you guys got to be like that because other people are waiting. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so let me look. Let me look at your basic chart real quick and let's see if we'll start with that. It kind of sucks you can't see it, but I think we'll be okay for right now. So you have, the nodes were the first thing that jumped out at me. The south and the north node at 0 degrees. And the reason I wanted to look at your chart is because it has to make sense. You have in your chart, actually, this might be better. Maybe this will force me to talk in a non-astrological way. That's what I'm hoping. All right, so you have points of fate happening right now that are being triggered in your chart. And whether you're aware of it or not, it would have started. It didn't just start today. This would have started, it would have been strong within the last month. The nodes of fate are crossing lines like that, stress and tension, angle energy with other points of fate. This is significant one-on-one relationships and your sense of freedom and independence. Now, your sense of freedom and independence and what and who you're bonded to, right? This is physical bonds, blood bonds, financial bonds, emotional bonds, traumatic bonds. Deeply bonded energy goes way back. Okay, it's deeply rooted, and yours may be uh, likely to do with the body and physical, but it can be about appearance. So sometimes appearance, well, that can be a lot of different ways, a lot of different, whether it's wounds or traumas. But this energy for you has a very independent spirit to it. It is lively, it's optimistic, it's fun, it's youthful, it's energetic, it's quite sporadic. It loves to start things. It's a starter, it's an initiator. It's really common, really similar to like the Mars slash Aries energy. Okay. And so what this means is starting new relationships, right? And but what you might find is there might be some tests, some stress, some tension where things just aren't happening as easily. However, you're having opportunities where people are coming in, where opportunities are occurring, where one door opens and another door or two doors close or vice versa. One door closes and two opens. So this energy, along with the nodes, the big nodes up in the sky of the future and of the past, my superpower, domestic energy, but also my fantasy and my dream, my faith and my beliefs type of stuff. So it is connecting in strongly and was for the last month and will all the way until the end of this month. This is happening in the personal relationships, again, relationships where you may have moments where you feel like you have to take control and lead the way, because values and money and income are also part of this. So this is desire energy, this is addictions, this is, attachments, this is what I'm drawn to and who's drawn to me and magnetism, but also finances in my work and how I receive love. Overall in your chart, you have this really practical, which I love, because I love a smart Venus. A Venus that's smart is in Virgo, is in Capricorn, right? She's grounded. She's not loosey goosey and just all about the desires and attraction, right? Because your energy that I'm talking about right now, the stuff that I talked about, the fated stuff, that can be the impulsive, a fatal attraction type of stuff, even because it's fate intertwining with fate in a stressful tension kind of a way. So with that, I think this is good. Overall, I think it's good because there's a strong impulse here. And when we have some stress and tension, that tends to throw stop signs and hurdles, and it slows the impulsivity down a little bit. And then, of course, you have Virgo in that second house, which makes it some smart energy. But new, exciting, different, and starting is going to be a big thing, and possibly income in terms of work and tasks and projects, but very grounded in earthy energy, but always trying to reinvent, reinvigorate, thinking outside the box. That's big energy for you. So you have this lasting for till the very end of this month, which means that you will have probably some opportunities for new professional partnerships as well. So keep that in mind. Okay. Keep in mind that when I talk about the impulsivity, though, it might come across at times as being aggressive and assertive and forceful. But if you know in your mind, like you're aware of that, then you should be all good, because then you're thinking balance, you're thinking harmony, you're thinking fairness and equality, as opposed to me, I'm leading the way, enforcing it. All right. So that's until the end of the month. All right. We're going to go with the next chart. And Mr. Reborn, you're here. Are you getting a reading, Mr. Reborn? All right, Dayton, Ohio, I see you. Birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state, birth country. Oh, I'm assuming that's India down below. All right. Okay, so How old am I? Oh my God. You must be a youngster, huh? I'm just saying there's certain things you don't ask a female. There's just rules. My grandmother told me that. From a female to a female. She was like, it's like, okay. And I was like, shit, 10 or something, really, really young. And she was, yeah, she was a character. So, wow. How interesting. Multiple births from Chennai, India? Multiple? I have multiple people here who were born in the same location. Wow. Or maybe it's the same person. I could be wrong. Okay, so let me get to the next one. Mr. Reborn, you didn't answer, so I'm moving on. Mr. Reborn, how about this? Let me slow down. Mr. Reborn, are you there? Your name has been called. If your name is called and you do not come in on the chat and say here, then I will not read your chart. You follow? Because some people leave. Some people go to bed. Some people go out to eat. Some people go to the bathroom. Some people start, well, God only knows what other, some of the other things people do, but yeah. So Mr. Reborn, going once, going twice for Mr. Reborn. All right, so we're moving on, Mr. Reborn. You didn't answer. Jesus loves you. I don't see a birth time, so we're moving on from you. Healing reading says passing. Lillian Phillips, do we have your birth digits? If I don't have your birth digits, we got to move on. And that's how that works. If you get your birth digits to me late, then you just go back to the line. Okay. We got to flow with the people who are here and who are prepared with the digits. That would mean Shazam. There you go. This would mean you are up, India. Do I have foreign and travel opportunity? All right, let's get your chart in here. I don't know if I've looked at your chart before. I don't think you've been here, but let me take a peek. Jagan. If I don't remember, no, I don't see you in my system. Okay, so let's get this new chart up. And remember, the system is giving me shit today. For some reason, it's not allowing me to pull up my software. It's really weird. Say, no, it's not. It's Mercury. That's right. That is right. I heard it. What do we got? Jagan star. Oh, I like that. Star K. I was going to say Starsky and Hutch. Anybody remember that? There you go. Okay, so we have... All right, so here's the thing. I saw the digit. Oh, I see you wrote it as time. Okay. That's why I'm like, is that your... Okay, so June 14th. So I'm sure software is like, you don't know how to spell. That happens. June 14th, 2006. 5:57 p.m. Y'all just don't know how happy you make me feel when you got your birth stuff. I'm like, yay. Now we're rooting that the system will acknowledge your birth location. And let's see. Man, this software, sometimes it's like my worst enemy. Have you seen your chart before? Well, yeah, you've probably seen it. Anyway, this chart is showing me June 14th, 2006, 5:57 p.m. I have a Saggy on the rising. Is that about right? Saggy rising. This is showing an Aquarius moon. Now, let's also take into consideration, I look at a tropical Placidus chart system. And, I'm really you know what I think I'm going to start doing? I think I'm just going to do this right now. I think I'm just going to start this. Okay, so this other chart system I'm looking at, how about this one? Maybe you're more familiar with this one. Or maybe not. This is a combination which I have find to be very accurate. This other one is showing me a Scorpio rising with a Capricorn moon. How does that sound? Does that sound like you? Scorpio rising, Capricorn moon, all about the business. That's a mixture of mother and father energy, very serious, can be very difficult energy when somebody has a moon in Capricorn. This chart is showing me, especially in terms of desires, and your question was about travel. So let me take a look at that. And so, let's take a look at that. Travel. Oh, interesting. You have Jupiter on your 12th house cusp line in this chart. Nice supportive trine for travel. Oh, wow. Okay. Now this is your birth chart I'm talking about. Okay. I have to be familiar with it before I can realistically give you a reading. So give me 1 second to get there with this. I do see a wound that angles the ability to travel, and it's my long-term goals as far as what I'm committing to. Oh, okay. Thoughts, talking, communication, relationship energy, significant one-on-one, but also partnerships, and my beliefs in relationships to all that. Okay. You have an Aries Venus. She can be interesting mixture. Service and sacrifice at times, but then an Aries at this would have to be cautious about the martyr syndrome. The Capricorn moon can be a mixture of possible moments of depression, possibly. Okay. Fast mind energy, talking, communication. This chart shows me a Mercury trining Uranus energy. Whoa. All about the details, work, service industry type of energy, food, the earth, the planet. This can be hospitals. This can be healthcare, nursing. Okay, this is up in the profession. It's where your superpower is. Oh, organizing, hygiene, cleanliness, very structured. Wow. Okay. So, who is this? I hate to mispronounce your name. Does any of that? Yeah, that sounds like you. Okay. All right. Okay. Travel opportunity. All right. Sounds good. Let's see what we can get up here real quick for you. So, what we're going to have, let me see here. Let's go to this. Yeah, you will probably have some travel opportunities coming up. Likely, let me check your digits here. Okay, so you're looking about a month off. You are looking about a month off. However, there is likely going to be some restrictions, regulations, some work involved for you to pull it off. You're going to have the drive and the passion to do it. I'm looking at your mixture of Mars and Saturn energy that you have together in this chart, but it does, yeah. You're going to have Jupiter going through that location of getting on the plane and traveling or whatever, long distance travel of some sort. But it is in water, so overseas usually, or over a body of water of some part of some sort. And but Saturn's there. But this also tells me it might simply be, duty, responsibility, which also means work and career can be part of it. I mean, it might be for fun and joy, but it's possible that work is involved in some way in this. So yeah, that looks to be about a month off. Let me check one other thing that I didn't. Okay, so this is good. This is actually, I think, good because it's Jupiter and that's your great benefic. So that's your timeline. And I just want to double check. Yeah. Yeah. I say all systems All systems are go with this quick look at that. Yep. Because even your Venus, even your fun Venus, it's your Venus is in a location of work and projects and tasks and stuff. But even your Venus will be in the 11th house at the same time that I'm talking about. Right? Starting up in August. Venus is going through the 11th house. And she by September, like within the first few days of September, then Venus still in your 11th, which is airlines, right? And travel, because you have Jupiter going through your 9th. Venus will be now in an air sign in the 11th house, right? Yeah. So I think that's significant. I think you can make it happen. Your Mercury's in air, it's in Gemini. Venus will be trining. Yeah, there's just a lot of you have a huge grand air trine in your chart. Huge grand air trine, so powerful. So Venus is and your Jupiter is in the same sign. It's in Libra in air. So yeah, I say that's all good. I would just make sure I got it done before the Venus and the Mercury retrograde in October for sure. Okay. All right. Let me move on. Sorry, Donna. I know you said you're here to learn. It's hard to learn without a chart on the screen. It's damn software. It's not actually the software's being fine. It's the freaking StreamYard. But maybe people prefer not to have a chart on the screen. I don't know. The whole point of these live stream, well, it's to help people, but it's also to have a learning environment. All right, so I'm moving on. We're going to the next name. Who's ready? It's first come, first serve. You got to have your birth digits with your name. If I don't have all that together, I go on to the next name, birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. And let's see. Watkinson Cat House, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope things are looking up for you. Oh, look at this. Look at this. He even had, I didn't see this. He even had for job purpose. Yes, totally. I'm so glad. Yeah, it aligns. Hello, Laura Wolf. Yep, birth time, birth date, folks. Cartman, I love Trump. Well, thank you for letting us know, but this is an astrology thing, and well, that's what we're doing here. So Jesus would hate LGBTQ. Some people have never read the Bible, and the way they speak, you can tell they've never read the Bible. So let's keep moving on. Laura Wolf. Are you here still, Laura Wolf? I have, you were born in the U.S., so I'm assuming this is November 17th, 1970, 6 a.m. Let me know that you're still here, and I'll create your chart. Laura said I'm here. Very good. Okay, Laura, you're on the ball, man. She's like, I am not missing out. All right, sorry I can't get the charts on the screen today. It's insane. But there's a reason for everything, and we're just going to go with that. So we got Laura Wolf. And we're doing November 17th. 6 p.m. That's 6 a.m. That's 6 a.m. Did that come from a birth certificate, or was that like a word of mouth thing? I'm just curious about that. It's just rare. That's all. That's why I always ask when I see it, because I'm like, ooh, really? Dayton, Ohio? I had a friend who lived in Dayton, Ohio. I probably have more than one friend. Or yeah. It's just been a long time. since I've been able to connect with people I used to connect with. And but the one person I'm thinking of passed on, and just a sad thing. Okay, so here we go. Here you go, Laura. This chart, have you seen your chart before? I need water. Hold on. Because this is showing me for November 17th, 1976 a.m. This is showing Scorpio rising. And, ooh, a water moon, a Cancer moon. Holy moly. You have a strong water trine in your chart. And it involves your moon and your Venus and your Jupiter. Holy crap. Okay, so let me make sure of something. Tropical. Yeah, this is fascinating. Did you say, have you seen your chart? Your oh, it is from your birth certificate. Oh, she said yes. I'm assuming you're answering yes to my question. Okay. Again, apologize, I can't show the charts. The system isn't working, but I'm looking at your chart. And so Mercury in Saggy, Mercury right on the second house cusp line. Ooh, always thinking about the future. Are you always thinking about the next, desires, money, love, relationships, income, investments, finances? Like, whoa. Gonna travel for that, huh? Gonna explore, gonna seek and search. Wow. But spirituality might be a big thing there, huh? Religion, philosophy on life, and all that good stuff. So, Laura, did you have a question attached? I'm going to scan real quick. If I don't see what you wanted me to focus, 1 or 2 words. If not, I'm just going to go with what jumps out here. And no, I don't see anything. Okay. All right. So, 29. Uranus at 11. Oh my God. I wish you could see this chart. Pandora, Uranus, Shiva, you got them all at 11 degrees together. Wow. So this is a person who's definitely outside of the box in terms of friendships and group energy, relationships. Of course, this is science and astrology and tech. Absolutely. For tech, this is relationships, personal and professional. Even your freaking Mars is in Libra too. Wow. Okay. So your moon, okay, you have karma next to your moon in the 9th house. Whoa. Okay. Do you ever feel like you're connected to the whole of humanity? Holy shit. Okay. And the water energy can be super tricky in terms of connecting with individuals and people in the past. Yeah, we can feel and know more than we want to. You have a 24-degree sun in Scorpio, which can be highly sensitive and psychic. Big combination. It's like a Pisces Scorpio combo. And your nodes are the moons. Okay. Holy shit. Yeah, this is a big deal for you. So what's going to be happening is the North Node, that's, hold on a minute. Let me flip something around here. The charts are playing games on me. Let me go this way. So you're having a nodal return, right? Yeah, your powerhouse south node and your north node conjunct your north node. You're in it. And if you're not aware of what all that is, if you're not, this is focused on home, family, mom, mother wounds, possibly childhood, property even, and also career. Job, career, maybe vocation, depending upon how you use your energy. This is a big area of focus for the next 18 months. Well, actually, let me back that up a little bit. For like the next 9 months, because you already experienced 9 months of this, but yours is changing. I know this is weird. It's changing. Before it was logical and practical, and it was giving you really like just earthy type ways of things you could do for a job, for income, for career. Like it was very grounded energy. But now it's going to turn into more of a very creative, almost performative energy, boss energy, big time, big time. So whether you get the accolades and recognition, I don't know if this is what you're looking for, but this is what jumped out are the nodes and the moon stuff in your chart. The moon energy is big. Um, Moon is big, and so is Venus for you. And even as I'm doing this reading today, it's Venus. It's Venus coming up on this same energy I'm talking about. Really creative, like I said, performative, colorful, but it brings like this. You walk into the scene and you take charge. It's that boss energy. People look up to you, and can be some recognition for this. Okay. When people have their South Node in Leo, normally it talks about a superpower, and it talks about needing to not fall back on those past skills, but to utilize the other skills, which is doing things that serve the group. Because Leo can be very prideful, right? And kind of have to go it alone type of energy. But the opposite end says in the home, you're working on group energy, but something very different and unconventional. So this might be because group energy is big here. So maybe it can be with people who are older than you, like even seniors type of energy. Somehow people who are maybe appear or seem as authorities or elders in some way, but very different and unique, and like the mind energy, because these can be people who have issues with the mind even, okay? The neurological system, nervous system, but different, unique technology comes in big time here, of course, when we're talking Aquarius and Uranus energy. This talks about a struggle. Talks about a struggle between your own personal needs and a sense of dedication to others, okay? And it's like I don't want to call it a tug of war, but that's kind of what it's like. Each side is pulling and saying, hey, but I want to do this, or I'm really good at this, or I feel really comfortable doing this. What you don't feel really comfortable, but you're really good because you have a strategizing skill actually attached to this. I see here. I see Pallas Athena attached to your North Node in Aquarian energy. And I also consider that this is like the public. When we say moon energy and family, and the understanding of the public is my greater family. So talks about a quest for self-worth, inner self-worth. Okay. It talks about overcoming the need for public displays of like being acknowledged and recognized. So that's all based on the past, and what you were used to getting was the public recognition. And in this lifetime, it's really more inward. It's really more about you giving yourself the recognition. And, you're in your emotional world, your emotional realm. Okay. That's part of the big picture for the next 9 months. And if you aren't feeling it yet, you're going to. And again, I can't show it to you, but you've got a strategist that's connected to this. So you will have different methods, different ways of talking, communicating, and relating to group energy, and doing things that are more of like on a humanitarian type scale. This can be volunteer work. This can be doing things where people, the recognition isn't there, but doing it because it's the right thing to do. And it's not just about the right thing to do for yourself, but other people can benefit kind of energy. With that said, you do have Saturn doing a retrograde right on your 6th house of health and your work and your daily routines. This brings upon more responsibility and more duties. So that, I believe, you're definitely already feeling, but I will just tell you, it will become stronger at the end of the month. because this is when the Saturn retrograde begins. So it would be a very serious-minded energy. And the beauty is it can help mature some of the Aryan energy. But health and the health of my children, maybe the health, whatever you consider your children, that can be our domestic pets, that can be your blood children, that can be people that we take care of that we consider children, can be your products, your creations, or work projects or work creations that we consider our children. But the health of those and of your goals, like what are your long-term goals? And how healthy are they? Are they, doable, sustainable? Are they outdated? Are they more about myself? Right. So anyway, it sounds like you're in a very internal time, very internal home, family, mom, mother wound, childhood. Your whole inner world seems to be um, more of what is going to be in focus for like these next 9 months. Okay. So don't forget, you've got your Black Moon Lilith who's going to be there helping. I said Black Moon Lilith. You've got your Pallas Athena who's going to be there helping. And she knows how to strategize. She knows how to communicate. And this all is a big part. I will also add, technology plays a big role in this in some way. So this can be whether you're doing it through using technology in some way, right? There can be something that you can do in the home, which with this alignment that I'm seeing, it could be something, I don't know. Somebody decides I'm going to start, doing a podcast, or I'm going to start, whatever, just using tech in some way where there's a group mentality, where you're aligning with people who are in the same mindset as yourself, the same energetic frequency as yourself. People are super unique, super different. These people dance to their own music. Okay. So with that said, embrace this time and take advantage of it, because it's a time where you recognize you have some gifts, but the gifts are to be shared. Okay. It's not just for yourself. And astrology can be part of that too, because it's Aquarius energy. Just so you know, when I say tech, it's anything that's different, new, unconventional, cutting edge, hasn't been discovered yet, anything like that. All right, we're moving on. I got to figure out where's the next name. And I think, because I have people here who have been persistent, which is great. Thank you. So next in line, I believe, is Naveen. Okay, I'll just say Naveen. You got me on that one. I have November 14th, 2004. India again. When will I get a job? How is Venus, Dasha? When will I get a foreign job? Oh, you want the foreign job. Is this the same person I already read for? I don't recognize the Navina thing. But it's the same person asking about the foreign job? Okay, so are you here? The person's name on the screen, Navina, are you here? Naveen Daraha. Anyway, I don't want to chop it up. Isn't that interesting? Two different birth years, though. All right. Yes, ma'am. I'm still here. Okay, great. Let's get you in. Let me get your chart drawn up. So if I've drawn your chart up, I save them. The point of that being, you can come back and we don't got to redraw this shit up again. You know, it's a pain in the ass. All right. N-A-V-E-N. All right. And we're talking 2004. All right. The other one was 2006. 2004, 11:23 a.m. And how's the weather where you guys are? Okay. So, have you seen your chart before? I don't want to assume just because you're born in India that you've seen your chart before. Hot. Yeah, same here. Hot. Absolutely. Although I know a lot of places have it worse than what we do. It's raining in Scotland. What's going on, Scotland? That's a place I got to get to one of these days. Ah. Yeah, birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. If you can get all that information in on the same line for me when I come upon your name, that will speed the process up. Otherwise, I might slide right past. And that would be for anybody who's in the chat. So Scotland, get all your digits, get all your stuff on the same line for me, okay? When I get to you, that way we can move effortlessly. All right, so Naveen, I have your birth. Yeah, we got a rising, Capricorn rising. We got a moon in Saggy. Another moon in Saggy? Scorpio sun. Woo-hoo-hoo. South node, 2 degrees in Scorpio, conjunct Mars. Whoa. 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 However, you're kind of fortunate, I think. Interesting. Wow. That's an interesting combination. Conjunct that south node there. All right, so Naveen, let me look at this chart and let's see if this sounds like you, Naveen. Naveen, you know why I'm laughing. Yeah, the whoa on that south node and the Mars together. I mean, that energy can be tricky, and let's not play around. It's trining Uranus. Exactly, according to this. Not by the minutes, but hell yeah. Holy shit, whoa. And according to these calculations, you got this big kite. You've got a couple of them for sure. But you have a nice one. Well, I say nice. It involves Pluto. It's a tricky one, but it's pretty damn powerful. Your Pluto, your moon, which I think they definitely are conjunct because you even, good God, you even have the Egyptian sun god Ra there. Holy crap. You have the Egyptian sun god Ra and Pluto conjunct. Okay, interesting. Enabling you to get past blocks. Oh, that makes you the workaround king. Holy shit. Okay. Ideas, especially when it comes to the future. Wow. Okay. But man, a Pluto at a Pluto degree is like damn intense. Whew. Super intense. All right. So with that said, let's see. Wounds. This chart's telling me wounds, long-term goals, possibly father authority figure wounds, possibly partnerships attached to those things, according to this chart. Interesting. Yeah, the nodes at the 2 degrees. This means you have other lifetimes memory, history of being a warrior. I always refer these people to like the Crusaders, the people who fought to their high ideals, but even fanaticism, where they like anything in the name of God type of energy. I guess that's the best way to put it. Because it's a fight mentality mixed with my higher aspirations and passions and drive, but my willingness and eagerness to be able to pick up a weapon and to fight and defend. And Scorpio, holy shit, the king of psychological warfare. So South Node in Scorpio talks about trust, talks about bonded energy, and not being able to detach, to unattach, and to let go. So this can be tricky because this is your superpower. Okay, so this is holding on to energetic bonds. Now, with that all said, before I go on a whole thing on that, let me back this all up so I can make sure. Job. Okay, let's get that. Let me switch this after I just read all of that. Let's go to this other chart for you. And we're going to calculate the future real quick. And let's talk about your job. So Jupiter is your great benefic. This is great. This is a benefit. You do have work in the 9th house with Jupiter. Okay. Okay, that would be travel. And you even have Venus there. Okay, that makes sense. Is food somehow involved? Could be farming, could be agriculture, the land, earth. That's for higher education and learning, teaching, preaching, travel though, and working possibly. This is all here. Interesting energy. Can have to do with health too. When we talk about food and health and the body, health care even. Can it get intertwined with this energy for you? You do have Jupiter in this other chart going through your 7th house. Okay. And this is at 16. Oh, that can bring up the opportunity for travel. Let me get there. Yeah, that's a nice sextile to that for you. And you do have work going through your 3rd house, duties, responsibility, and work. It can create difficulties for travel, but it, just might make things, work related, that it's not fun, but it can be attached to learning and education as well. But business can be big for this, especially if you're working for an institution of some sort, because you have Pisces here, is what they're showing me in this chart. So professional work possibly, unless you're into spiritual work, but I doubt it if you'll be traveling for work. Anything's possible because even all this other stuff I'm looking at is in the 9th house. That's Jupiter's realm. That is that spiritual realm. And Mars will be entering the 6th house. Oh, for work. Look at that. End of July. So there can be an opportunity for travel. Work can definitely be involved. Mars enters the 6th house. 6th house is work. Let's see. Day-to-day routines. Yeah. So you're going at the end of July into August. The great benefic Jupiter is sextiling your Jupiter, sextiling your 9th house cusp line. And Mercury's going to be going through the 7th house of professional relationships and partnerships, personal and professional. But it highlights travel. Okay. Even Mars will be in the location. It'll be in air now, so it'll be lining up with your South Node and your Mars for the month of August. Okay. So I also like that even up in the sky, actually before then, this is showing me on this other chart I'm looking at, you're going to have some nodes revisiting your Uranian energy in this chart. In this chart, you have Uranus, technology. Are you working for tech? In your 2nd house of income. And so the node's going to be there on that. That's a big deal. That usually represents something different and new, but airlines and travel, for sure. Exciting. Destined to take an exciting turn during this timeline. New people, new activities, groups, projects suddenly are presented, okay? It requires you to shift your thinking and take action. There may be news of the new opportunities that can come just like out of the blue, like a flash, like a lightning bolt. It's a time to break out of old habits that you have become accustomed to, but they're holding you back. It's time to enjoy a renewed sense of freedom. So, because it's in the location of money and income, It may bring new opportunities of work. Networking will be huge, right? This is in Aquarius energy. This is in Aquarius energy. So now let me back this up just a little bit. The realistic timeline on this for you, the sun's going to be squaring this. Oh, this will be interesting. So there's probably, even the Jupiter. Okay. Mercury. Oh, yeah. This is interesting. This is really interesting for you. You're going to have a lot of things connecting. Yeah, your node's going to eventually get down to that 2 degrees. Yeah. So I'm going to stick to what I originally said, end of July. And then you've got the nodes with you, working with you in the income department all the way until, because that's what brings you the new opportunities. Yeah. Once you get to the October, right? Just like I told the other person in their chart. Actually, November. The beginning of November. Okay? Business and commerce. Yeah, that makes sense. Third house, Gemini. Yep, that all makes sense. But you can't do that without using technology, because you're accumulating data, the information, networking with information. But that makes perfect sense for the second house information. Okay. And you have business and data and commerce in your 7th house in this chart. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. That's your partner. Business and commerce and trade. And that's Uranus. That's the supply chain. That's what makes the world go around, right? Absolutely. Yeah. All right, next in line. Let me see, where did I put that name? There it is. Okay, so all right. Some of these names are repeats. So on behalf of my partner, okay, this person is next. This is John Beresford, 9906. On behalf of my partner, John, are you here? April 30th, 1984, 6 a.m. Toledo, Spain. Are you still here? If you're still here, I will create your chart. If not, I'm moving on, but I got to hear from you. Life partner. Absolutely. Oh, John's still here. Very good, John. Awesome. Wait, let me get that original comment back on. That's how I tag. How I keep track of where the heck I am. Okay, John. Very good. Okay. Okay, let's get your chart drawn up here. And John says, on behalf of my partner, you sound very serious about that, John. And what do we have here? Okay, we'll do this. Maria at the end there. Okay. And so, John, just so that I'm clear, this is Maria's birth digits in here? Another 6 a.m. Holy crap. Seriously? Wow. Boy, my stomach is just talking to me today. I mean, it is just like, what's going on up there? Nothing. We're doing astrology. What's going on down there? It's like I am busy digesting all that food you ate at lunch. Yes. It was delicious, wasn't it? Okay, so John, this is Maria's chart I have drawn up. And let me just let me double check to see what you said about that. If this is Maria's chart, yes, it is. Okay. Is there something specifically that I'm looking for, or you want me to just tell you what jumps out, John? That's what I'm going to do, I think, because you didn't specify. Oh, okay. Wow. 7th house, Pluto retrograding, 0 degrees, Scorpio. That's what jumped out. Whoa. Ooh, deeply bonded energy. Yikes. It's just intense as all hell in partnerships. Very intense energy. I will add Scorpio energy is a bit of a super detective. I'm just saying it is. Venus and Mercury conjunct at 27 degrees in Aries. Holy shit, conjunct the moon. Whoa. Wow. Wow. So that can be a little tricky in the first house, especially when this person was a youngster, I would imagine. Aries is about the physical body, the appearance, the head, but it's Mercury's there. So communication, talking. When we're a child, that can be okay, but as we mature into an adult, that might be tricky to deal with. It can be sudden bursts of communication and words. And there's even the emotion that's going to be behind it. There's a big water trine here. I'm sorry, a big fire trine here. It's fire and water mixed. It's really strong. But this can be energy that comes out and across as, how we oscillate through energy, how we oscillate through our personality. We can be really mature at times, and sometimes it's just like whatever. And then other times we can be, especially if something triggers us and emotions take a hit, and oh my God, we react like a child. Like that can totally happen. And what happens when we react like a child? What do children do? They kick, they scream, they have a temper tantrum, and we're like, go in your room. But what do we do when they're grown? Well, ask the United States about their president. And there you go, right? Yeah, that was my stab at humor. But that's just to get my point across. That can be tricky energy. There's a lot of built up energy at that point. And so when emotions get involved, that can be very tricky because it is part of this person's communication style. It also triggers things that they value, people they value, family, home, mom, mother wounds, nurturing, me energy, me. Aries is really big with me energy. It can also be a great leader though. When it gets out of the me stage, it grows up and it becomes more and more takes on more of that leadership quality. It becomes inspiring to other people even. So with the fire trine, these people are initiators. They don't sit still. They have to be on the move. They have to be active and physical even. And it doesn't necessarily mean, like Mr. and Mrs. Athletic, although this person can be because they even have Leo in the 5th and in the 6th in this chart. So they can be athletic. But sudden bursts of information, if this chart is right, if this birth time is right, if this chart is right, this person may get downloads and bursts of knowledge and flashes of insight and inspiration that are futuristic in their nature, almost prophetic, actually. So that's if this is accurate. If all the times and everything you gave me are spot on, this person would have that happen. And it may not necessarily be something that they can count on all the time. It just depends when things move around in the sky and make contact. Let's see. Yeah. So values comes up again in a lot of ways, not just with their moon and their Venus, which is your love language and your home and your family, but also your finances and income. And literally, that is mine, damn it. But food, creature comforts, the earth, these can all be really important things. Now, in this chart, this person's benefic. They're the planet that will bring gifts and even a beneficial friends, possibly beneficial activities, beneficial communications would be through Venus energy. So when we talk about love language, this energy might come across at times as fun and feisty, but also fun, feisty, and spicy for sure. But also, there can be benefits through the communication for this person from other people they know, friends, coworkers, neighbors, siblings, because this Venus is directly connected through talking and communicating. Now, to be specific, this would be most beneficial for the person if they knew this about themselves, because this is how it's set up in their chart. The journey for them to learn about themselves would be the best thing for them. And that's the way it's written here, because it's all in this person's first house, which means this is something they need to know about themselves. And maybe they already do. Maybe they sent you here and said, go, whatever, go find this out from somebody. I don't have the time, or who the hell knows, But what's tricky is that Mars, they have a very fiery, feisty Mars. In addition to what I already spoke of, with the Mercury and the Venus that can sometimes come across in a very assertive, aggressive, feisty way. Spicy. When a person has their Mars in the Scorpio energy, like she does, it can be that warrior. It can be the psychological warrior. What I love and what I think helps is this person has this at a 24 degree, which tells me they can come to a surrender point in terms of vulnerabilities and wounds and healing. If they're not if they can get out of a victim role, possibly, right? I mean, it just depends on what else is happening in their lives. But the Mars here might have intense wounds that are attached to their body. And attached would be the right word, actually, because it's Scorpio in the house of Scorpio. A lot of it has to do with trauma from the past. Yeah, a lot has to do with the trauma from the past. So with this energy and what's coming up in terms of up there in the sky, what I want to do is I'm going to make a change here really quick, and then I'm going to move on. Let me really quickly. Oh, this person has it in both ways. Okay. Ooh. All right. So a quest to overcome change. A quest to release attachments and to let go. A quest to overcome, because the Scorpio energy and the healing energy, trust is such a huge word in vulnerabilities. It's like crazy major. But trauma, suffering and traumatic endings in past lives, which left deep emotional wounds and a feeling of being cheated. This life's lesson is to trust the process of change and developing a newfound sense of peace and stability. That's the big point for this chart. But yeah, there's a lot of trauma here. And it's not just from this time around. And regardless of when it's from, right? There's a lot of energetic wounds attached from the past or soul memory, however you want to look at that. And there will be in October, just so that we're clear for everybody listening, anytime you hear me say Scorpio energy, this is the kind of energy where if we're struggling, it might be a good idea to get professional help. That's just the reality. People need somebody to talk to sometimes. Some people teach that it's just a matter of learning how to love themselves, learning how to accept themselves, learning how to trust themselves, that they will not betray themselves, and that is what creates healing. You got to figure out what works for you. Absolutely. All right. So I hope that helps, and we're going to move on. I'm going to save those digits so that they're here in the chart. And I have it here. I had your name, but then I put Maria's name at the end of it. That way we understand whose chart it is. If that way the next time I'm looking, if that ever happens. Yeah, I just put your name and then I put her name at the end of it. So with that said, we're going to go on to the next one. Hey, Gibby, how are you? Gibson and Teamwork. Hey, ladies, how are you both doing? All right, let me find this really quick. Let me see if the software is going to work this time. Let me see if it'll let me do the sharing the screen. Nope. I don't know why. I don't know. Technology is not my friend today. Okay, so Bree-View Awakenings. I have transiting Jupiter, exact my chart ruler, Mercury, 12th house. Okay, my sun is 0 Virgo. Could you please give me your take? Are you still here, Bree-View Awakening? Are you still here? And do I have your digits? I can't remember the last time I saw your chart. I might not have you in this new system. If I don't, I would need your digits and you would have to put them in. And I'll come back around when I get to you then. That means if you're not in the system right now under this name, then you'll have to resubmit your digits because they're in the other room. Long story short. All right. Yeah, they're in the other room. Okay. Oh, Laura said she's the caregiver for her mom. Okay. Okay. Thank you for that additional. Thank you for sharing that, Laura. Thank you. Laura's probably gone. I'm talking to myself. Okay. So we got India. I love India people, man. They don't mess around. They want their chart. They get the digits in there all over the damn place. That way I can't possibly make a mistake, right? I love it. It makes my job so much easier. Absolutely. Okay. So, I am Marie. Is this Marie as in not the Marie I just did a chart for, right? So if this person is still here, you're next, but I need your digits, right? You have to have them all together. Oh, I see. You did it right down there. Very good. I see you. I don't know how I found that. Gibson, how are you doing? It's so good to see you here, Gibson. Oh, yeah, the damn the technology is not working today, so we're really winging it. I mean, I'm looking at a chart, of course, but all right. I think it might be a better idea. I noticed a difference when I read it without having a chart on the screen. It's a little bit different for me. So weird, right? I'm forced. Well, I don't know. I'm not forced. I just noticed that I think I read differently. So Mackie, I don't know. Hopefully I spelled it right. Oh, that's L-E. I was doing like L-E. Okay. Oh, I wish I could hear your voice. Way better than these boring than my boring American voice. Okay, October 4th. $1976. 2143 UK. Okay. That's PM. Okay. Oops, this software changed it to noon. Let me fix that. 2143. Okay. So 9:43 PM, correct? No, is that right? 17 is, wait a minute, my brain. 17 would be 17. No, yeah. 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. Yeah, that's right, right? I don't know why my brain's like, no, that's not right. Yeah, this software doesn't do military time or 24-hour time. B. Belshill. I have never heard of that. Cool. Okay, have you seen your chart before? This is showing, oh, Cancer at 0 degrees. This is showing a moon at 4 degrees in Pisces. Oh, ooh, Uranus at 5 degrees in Scorpio with the North Node conjunct and conjunct your 6th house cusp line. Holy shit. Wow. That would be health, but work, domestic energy, at home energy, pets even. Wow. Boss energy. Authority figure energy. Different, unique, unconventional. But inventive, right? Major appliances, inventions, literally. Exciting. Group energy. These people can be older. That we bond to. Surprises. Shocks and surprises. You know, this would actually be really good for a person who repaired that kind of shit, actually. But Scorpio is the super detective. I always say that. It's a great researcher. And you've got all of this energy in the place of work, and you even have Venus there. I'll make my money. Money, money, money. But organizing and structuring, health, hygiene, perfection comes up. Communications is big. Business, sales. This is kind of unique. Yeah. This is very independent energy. Very independent. Oh, my stuff is about to go. Did anybody put a thumbs up on the live stream? Dang. All right. I always forget to do that. Saturn in Leo too. Oh, Lord. Okay. Yikes. This means you're having a Saturn trine Saturn as we speak. Oh, wow. Okay. So, God, do you work in tech? I hope so. Unexpected epiphany energy with that Uranus North Node. Yeah, the North Node conjunct Uranus, absolutely. The lightning bolt stuffs. So, no, I have a bit of scash. Is this, yeah, right? So, All right, you probably relate to that Libra. Wow, your Pluto and your Sun are conjunct. Whoa. This is showing it's in your 5th house of creativity and children, significant one-on-one relationships. This is also the romance department, things being equal and fair and diplomatic. Your Sun, that's how you gain your energy. So this is connecting with people where you already have soul connections to. But there's also going to be a demand for constant growth and change here. I mean, change is a big deal in your chart. You have a lot of digits that talk about surprises and shocks and changes. But your Sun being conjunct the Pluto energy, yeah, that's a big deal. Now, realistically, this might be heart and higher heart energy as well, for sure. And Mercury, you have a freaking Mercury in Virgo. Woo! That's its rulership. That's nice. But a Pisces moon. This is an interesting mixture. You have it in this chart for career. Pisces can be spiritual energy, healing energy, doctor energy, nurse energy, but healing institutions can be government energy, just institutions in general, something huge. Unless you're a musician in theater, sound, acting, creating, because it's at the 4 degrees. That's the public. And you do have Capricorn in the 7th house of professional partnerships. But unconventional relationships, something different. And it's group energy too. Oh, there's a lot here, but contracts and lawyer energy. Your midheaven, Aquarian energy. Space, science and technology, astrology, that all comes up again. Or as the last person, because you even have your Neptune in frickin' Saggy, travel, but also whether it's global economics, supply chain, business and trade and commerce, like all that energy falls along the same lines. And you do have your nodes at 3 degrees, and that is business, that is sales, that is talking, teaching. Yeah. Writing. Yep. But this is very, very much with the bonded energy. So earth energy, finances, banking, that all comes up too. Okay, so I want to see this on this other chart for you really quick, just to double check to see if we're looking at something different. Let me see if it shows up correct. Okay, it did. Okay, so in both of the charts, all right, you're still going to have Venus is your great benefic. So she brings you your gifts. And again, this comes by way of, it can be in relationships for you. What's interesting is it's connected to fate in this chart. Your great benefic comes through as fated energy. So people that you meet, opportunities that just suddenly come your way. These, it would be to your advantage to take people up on those opportunities. Venus is all about learning how to receive. Self-love, how I receive, being open, being receptive, day-to-day routines, but in relationships. This is big here. So a Pisces moon can be exceptionally sensitive energy. The sensitivities to the body, to the feet, intuition, it wants to escape. It needs respite. It needs to get away. It has to go within to get the break that it needs. Calgon, take me away. I'm in the tub taking a bath type of thing. Home and family. This other chart. This other chart, yeah, still a very smart Mercury. Where the heck is your moon? I'm trying to find your other moon in this chart. Oh, it's in Aquarius. There you go. Very different, unusual, unconventional. This talks about, as far as career energy or long-term goals, having the drive, the ambition, very serious energy. And again, this is in this other chart. Doing things that are tried, true, and tested. Very like traditional type of means of making money, but long-term goals and finances, like material, tangible security. That being something that you work towards all the time. However, because the moon and its placement, this is how I feel emotionally nurtured and satisfied and safe, emotionally safe. It talks about unconventional. It is group energy, so maybe friends supply that for you. But again, technology comes up. And if it's not tech, then it's just something that, this is the energy of the inventor. Somebody who, hey, that doesn't exist yet, but I'm creating it. I'm in the midst of it. This is highly creative, intellectual energy. And maybe it's just revealing truths, but something connected to the long term, your long-term goal. And this can be service, like service to the group as in humanity. It's very altruistic energy, very altruistic. So in this chart, your moon and your Uranus trine each other. And that would mean, again, it's important to have those relationships. Friends and significant one-on-one relationships are super important. Networking through those are going to be major. They're going to be a great supply of benefit for work and career and for your long-term goals. Talks about things being just extremely individualistic and unique. Many ideas. Ideas is big. Freedom and individuality is off the charts with this energy. Expressing in unconventional ways and attracted to exciting and different activities in which you excel at. You might be a bit of a daredevil too. So with that said, for right now, let me see where these okay, so your Venus is just jumping out again all over. And in the water, oh, you just got done with your Venus squaring your Venus. So that can be tricky, but ultimately good, because usually she's just a gift giver. Again, it's a focus on home and family, and it's going within. Even though it's home and family, it can be property, of course, but goes within. It talks about my emotional safety. And sometimes it's just us thinking about the past and what does family look like in home. And for some, home could represent, well, going home, ancestry, or going to the other home, going from where we came, where we originated from, that kind of thing. A lot of ways to look at it. You even have the part of karma right now, as we speak, on your Uranus energy. I wish I could show this, because the Uranus is the astrology. Karma up in the skies, 12 degrees in Libra, is sitting on your Uranus energy right now. That's spiritual energy. That's Pisces energy. That's talking about soul energy and soul bonds. Really fascinating. Yeah, really fascinating. Maybe inventive around health and long-term health. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed. All right. Thank you so much. Yep. Sending love. Thank you so much. Yep. Family means everything. Oh, good. Yeah, that's what that chart chose. You have a moon in Pisces in one chart, which family would be important. Mom energy is important. But right now you got Venus in Cancer too in this other chart, and that's big. The group, tribal energy would be very, but I think according to this other chart, there's a piece of the tribal energy that a part of you needs to break away from. Whether you call it spirit, soul, whatever, there's just a piece of you, that needs that individuality, that needs that independent time, which is healthy. We all need that. Some of us more than others. All right, so if I can get back to where I was in this lineup, I think I found it. So next in line, if you hear me call your name, you got to let me know that you're here. If you're not, I go on to the next name. If you don't let me know. Somebody here says, window, you missed me. Well, that's the first time I've seen you. Although I could have missed you, That's just life. Sometimes it happens. Was not intentional if I did, but if you're here, you have to let me know. Okay, so we're scrolling. All right, I did that one. Okay, ma'am, anything you can say for me if you wish? Oh, I did that one already. What am I waiting on? Oh, this was the one that asked, what am I waiting on? Oh, I'm sorry. What are you waiting on? Okay, let me double check that really quick. Representing life-giving force, your personal relation to the creators you see here, circumstances serve you to commune with the creator. How you become aware of the universal life force. Okay. What you would likely be waiting on, when a person has their sun and their Pluto conjunct like you do, surely you haven't felt this. Surely you felt this before in your life, especially since Mercury's in a retrograde right now, which means we're rethinking things. So you word it as, what am I waiting on? But maybe, unless you're saying this is related to a fear where you're hesitating about something and you're like, I'm not going to do that. So you're saying to me, what am I waiting on? What am I waiting for? Or is it, I know there's something coming? Because when the Mercury's doing its retrograde, we feel like we already get some information ahead of time. You have a 0-degree Mercury in Virgo in this other chart I'm looking at. And this is a strong Mercury, really strong. And you have a Sun in Virgo and a Pluto in Virgo, and they're both at the exact degree. So there can be truths and information that's below the surface that you get ahead of time that other people don't. So you may feel at times that you are basically waiting around for everybody else to catch up. Is it that kind of, what am I waiting on? You see in this other chart, it shows you have a Mars at 3 degrees in Libra. This is a relationship degree, but it's also the mind degree. It's more Mercury energy. And Mars is usually very impatient. And so if you ask, what am I waiting on? Sometimes it's just to learn patience, especially when Mars is involved. It's just to learn patience sometimes. And your Uranus and your North Node are conjunct. So that's another thing that speaks to things moving very fast. And so we have to learn to tell ourselves, slow down. So I tried to give you a few different varieties of what am I waiting on to see which one makes sense for you. Something is coming. Yeah, we get information ahead of time. This chart shows you have a Jupiter in your 12th house, and it's a retrograde Jupiter, and Mars is sitting on it. And maybe that's what it is, because Jupiter is very futuristic too, can give us information ahead of time. And oh, your strategist, your Pallas Athena's right there. Oh, so you have Uranus in your Pallas Athena. Okay. Well, do you think it has to do with values? It can be love or money or both. So that means it can be related to partnerships, personal and professional. It can be both of those. It also speaks to changes and adjustments needing to be made and being prepared to accommodate opportunities for growth and change. It could mean that you're leaving behind people or things which have been important in the past, but they're replaced by new and important events for the future. This can include groups of people which will come to mean they'll come to be a part of what and who you value. So maybe it's just the anticipation of all of that that's happening, which is likely the case because you have that Jupiter and Uranus stuff. Okay. She did request I get her a reading from you. She did request I get her a reading from you. Huh. Okay. All right. I'm glad that she requested it. That's important. Okay, Gibson, you're a sweetheart. Teamwork. Teamwork, how are you up? What are you up to? Gibson said, I'm doing great. I know. How have you been filling your days, Gibson? What have you been up to? Oh, Gibson's here for a reading. Yay. Gibson, it's been so long. It's your turn. Are you still here? I don't think you've gotten a reading since we've been in this new room. Let me see if you're in the system. You're probably not. But thank you for putting your stuff in. Because, yeah, it's in the other room. Oh, no, you're here. Yeah, I do have you here. I'm sorry. You were here, I read for you, and I didn't even know. My apologies. Yeah. Did you get to go? I've never been, Gibson. Have you been? Been painting a lot. Okay, well, don't tell me anything else. I didn't know you wanted a reading. I don't like people to tell me. I like the astrology to tell me. What the hell? Powerful, yeah. Okay. Oh, you are welcome. Thank you for being patient. And thank you for the appreciation. Okay, so sea green eyes. I think you will be after Gibson. So hang in there, sea green eyes. I think. I mean, I hope I'm not missing somebody. I mean, you got to have your digits. If I'm going to look at your name and consider you for a reading, you got to have your digits attached to it. And you do. Sea green eyes, you do. Very good. I see some other names and people just say hello, which is great. Say hello. But then you got to have your stuff attached if you think you want a reading, okay? Curious about the full moon. My moon is in Cappy. Ooh, let's take a look. Yep, you're welcome, Sea Green. I see you. Cheers again. Yes, you are welcome. You are welcome. Okay, so Gibson, Gibson, sorry, I can't put your chart on the screen. It's just not allowing me to do it. Yeah, let's do that. That way, I don't want to mess up the stuff. Okay, let me get a sip of water here and let's get Gibson's chart. Gibson, Have we ever looked at your Vedic chart? Probably not. I'm going to do that right now. Well, I'm calling it Vedic. I mean, it is, but I'm doing a weird combination that I found is really, really freaking accurate. So I like looking at it. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, and the next time you're here, ask me to show it. Well, provided I figured out what the problem is with this stuff. You know, maybe my StreamYard needs to do an update or some shit. I don't know. So what we have here. Oh, this is interesting, Gibson. This other chart, Gibson, I think you'd like this. This other chart shows you as a Sagittarius rising with, and I'm gonna focus on your Capricorn moon. Don't worry, but I just, for whatever reason right now, this shows you that you have a Sagittarius moon at 9 degrees, and it is conjunct Ceres, Ceres, that's at 11 degrees, and that is all conjunct your south node in Saggy at 12 degrees. Wow. Oh my God. This shows a Jupiter at 4 degrees in Aries, a Mercury at 9 in Aries. Yeah, but your Saggies, what it shows is in your first house. Fascinating. Oh, and shows Pluto in your 9th house in Leo. Interesting. Puts you a Virgo on the midheaven. All right. Shows, yeah, a Mars at 11 degrees in Pisces. A little bit different, isn't it? And a Venus at 6 degrees in Taurus. Wow. Fascinating. Okay, so what I want to do is pull up yeah, so the Capricorn full moon, you're talking about the Capricorn full moon from Monday, right? Today's Wednesday. Is that what you're asking me about, Gibson? Just so I'm clear on that. Yeah, so this Capricorn full moon here, because well, maybe you're not talking about that, but it says curious about the full moon because my moon is in Capricorn. Yeah, that was okay. Well, so does that mean you had an event on Monday? Because then I'll go back and look at that for you to be specific. But let me go do this really quick and we'll back this up. Yeah. So what's interesting is in this other system, well, actually, I don't really want to explain all that because it's just too much. But did it affect your beliefs? The event you had on Monday, did you have an event, the end of a cycle? Did it affect your belief system? Your beliefs in some way? Beliefs about the future and family? Did it have to do with that? And you, of course, right? Self in relationship to the family unit, to the tribal energy, and to the future of that. Strong, nurturing energy. I can't remember your natal chart exactly. I know Cappy was the first house, but yeah, having all this in Saggy is, again, really strong prophetic type of energy, but also spirituality. But freedom and independence, justice, seeking, searching. Taffy's outside the door. Hold on. Let me go get her. Can I get up and go get her? She's giving me the little whine where she sounds like she's dying outside the door, even though you know she's not. That's what happened, Gibson. It was more along the lines of a spiritual thing and the beliefs about the future. Even if it wasn't spiritual, I'm sorry, you can take spiritual out of it. But beliefs about the future, it was challenging, tested, strong to new beliefs and values. But family wasn't part of it. It's moon energy. That's why I was curious. Moon energy, family, group energy, but beliefs about tribal energy. So it also involved the past and the future. But group energy comes up here because it would have been a big deal because in the Sagittarius stuff, let me go see where your Jupiter is. It's been a while. Oh, it's hot damn. It's what I said right at the very beginning. I went right to your Jupiter because that's what jumped out. And the Jupiter's at 4 degrees in Aries in this chart. So it's definitely relates back to self and the foundations and home and family. Yeah. And it's about your existence. And many times our connection to that is my right to be here. How am I going to live? My right to survive. Or sometimes people feel like it's a threat to their survival when this energy gets activated, when the Aries energy gets activated, because it's really a survival instinctual type of energy. Not that you don't have all that wonderful mom energy in there. So it did involve the past. Okay. That's the main thing. The other thing too about the Jupiter energy, this is not in your 5th, it's in your 4th house. So the connection about the Jupiter energy, especially for females, and this Jupiter is connected to Sekhmet. They're both at the same degree. Yeah. This is whenever females are marrying or getting married, like they're supposed to marry Jupiter, not Mars, right? And okay. All right. So the relationship to family. See, if I could show you this freaking chart, I think, all right, let me go look at your other chart. It's just the next time we do this, just remind me to show you both charts because it's not that one is wrong and the other one's right. It's when we take both of these together that it's like, whoa, it just shows another layer of the experience for you, of what you went through. Because in Capricorn, we wouldn't relate beliefs, would we? When we're looking at Capricorn energy, we wouldn't be like, oh, but it's the relationship, or my beliefs about this or that in the future. Although Capricorn, of course, is my long-term financial stability, right? And Capricorn is someone I would commit to type of energy, my long-term goals. Let me go pull this one. I keep going back and forth in these charts. The software must think I'm drunk. Okay, so now this one shows your moon at 3, Sirius at 4, South Node at 5, but it's at 3, 4, and 5 degrees. And that full moon, I believe, was at 8 degrees, the full moon we just had, correct? Yeah, the full moon was at 8. All right. So your south node would have been a big deal on that. But because it's conjunct the Sirius and the moon. So children, 5 degrees, that's south node, connected to children, the long-term financial security. 5 degrees can be the romance in the relationship. And it's Capricorn, so let's go find Saturn. But it's the long-term goals connected to yourself. Your Saturn in your chart is at 1 degrees of Pisces. Second house, money, values, finances, love, desires, long-term. There might be some dreams about the long-term goals, the long-term work, the long-term commitment, fantasy. I mean, it's Pisces, right? So it can have some illusions and delusions on it. But it can also be faith and belief and prayer with that Pisces energy. But usually the focus on the goal and the dreams about it. Sometimes it's, that whole in love with being in love. I love being in love or whatever. But the ideal, the picture that we paint, like this is what that looks like to me. This is what a committed long-term relationship would look like to me. And Pisces paints its own picture for sure around long-term commitments with Saturn energy there. Now, where would beliefs come in when I'm talking about this, looking at this chart? Because Jupiter wouldn't be a thing here, but it was in the other chart, big time. Pisces ancient rulers, Jupiter. So then I go there and I'm looking at Jupiter in Aries at 28 degrees. It takes me back to the past. It takes me back to myself because it's in Aries. Takes me to the 4th house, still home and family, but wounds from the past. Yeah, this can be wounds from the past that have you connected those wounds to dad energy? Other than your own life and making your own family, but the cycle of the wounds with the, I hate to say this, with the alpha male. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the past energy, the moon energy, the 4th house energy, that's what it talks about, cycles, right? Ancestry. And we repeat cycles sometimes. Now, the vertex was part of it too, I thought, right? It was close to it. So this might have been, an all-day event experience type of thing that you were in, because emotions and partnerships connected to family and your nodes is what makes it big. But this is a release and a let go, but also a focus on the future and relationships, because it's in your 7th house. That's where the North Node is, right? That's where Cancer energy was focused. But the releasing of this long-term commitment energy, it's just fascinating. What did you say this was about? Studied ancestral karmic astrology. I was exhausted, releasing, and yes, focused on the future. Yeah. The fantasy and the illusions are over. Yeah, that is the thing about Saturn. It sobers up that energy real quick. Yeah. You don't have the luxury, right? You don't have the luxury. But see, right now, the Saturn and the Sun, you see this in your, I'm sorry, you can't see it. In your chart, this chart is a 14 degrees Aries Sun. Saturn up in the sky is sitting on your Sun right now. That's where the retrograde begins. Okay. Well, it's really serious energy. It really sobers up the Aries energy. You follow? So the Saturn talks more about the future and the long-term commitments. It talks about looking at my lifestyle, habits, ambitions, my goals, and am I following my destiny, my true destiny? They throw the word destiny and karma and fate around kind of a lot in this software. But anyway, It talks about every aspect of your life coming under intense scrutiny during this period. Remember, it's very serious energy. So it says the more that you have faced your responsibilities, then the more that you are likely to reap the rewards of recognition of Saturn. You follow? Yeah. However, if you've been running away from problems, then this can be a difficult time. Either way, you're likely to spend more time alone, working single-mindedly towards your own goals and concentrating on making necessary changes to your lifestyle. You may feel isolated as you concentrate on your own goals. And because this is located in the third, this is conjunct your fourth house cusp line. So family. I mean, self, but also family, right? That's probably going to definitely be in there. The other thing, too, I have to stress, well, you know about your Pandora's box. She's right there. And you probably don't know this, but even chaos is right next to your Pandora, like at 13 degrees. Yeah, there's a symbol for chaos in here. It just means you have to know how to pivot. You literally have to know how to pivot and to adjust. But the Aries energy grows up fast with Saturn sitting there. This can be a very rewarding time if you are willing to calmly accept the restrictions and responsibilities that may be impressed upon you. The more that you go against these rules, regulations, and limitations, the more obstacles you are likely to experience. It says that your ability to remain calm and strong is tested. Yeah, I'm reading this from the software because they have like a whole effing paragraph in here for this. And I'm like, okay, this looks juicy. You find that you're more constrained than usual in your life through having an extra workload. So taking care of a loved one or perhaps others in your life makes you quite busy. Busy dealing with consequences of past events or decisions. And either way, you can take heart in knowing that you will reap great benefits from all your positive efforts. This is about achievement through hard work that is rewarding. This sounds really nice, doesn't it? It speaks of this as an ideal time to remind yourself that you deserve the best and to make sure that you are aligned with your true purpose and desire. If you bear your extra responsibilities with fortitude, you can be sure that you are putting in the building blocks for your future goals. Bam! What do you think about that? Yeah, you know, yeah, you definitely don't strike me as the person who ran away from their problems, that's for sure. My children are gathering funds. Holy crap, definitely getting juicy. Find a place near because the building I live in is getting torn down. Oh my God, what's the deadline on this? Experiences I rode with victory. Good for you. So, did we look at this already? What's the deadline on that? Because I'm going to flip to the other chart for that for sure. I mean, you have to. You really do. Have to look at the other chart for that to see. Actually, I think I did, and it looked positive. 30 days. That's not a lot of time. Okay. Okay. Don't you just love it? Talk about a test of faith. Like it's going to put you right down to the wire, huh? Oh. What's your Mercury? 942? Oh, no wonder. These are the surprises you got. Uranus is right on your Mercury in this chart. No wonder. Yikes. Okay. Okay, so you also, let's see, we got Chiron sitting right on your Jupiter. Oh, interesting. Chiron's on your Jupiter. So this would be the home. Okay. Oh, you even have Shiva there. Oh, wow. Whoa. Holy shit. Shiva talks about destruction in order to make way for a new creation. Experiencing loss and emerging to create oneself anew. Deep awareness that all things must end. How you prepare for the end and what comes after. Well, holy crap. That's sitting, yeah. Okay. Along with the Chiron on your Jupiter in your 4th house in your home in Aries. So your freedom. So what this is saying, I mean, here's something to consider, okay? Because freedom is such a big deal, especially in this other chart too, independent energy, and you're living it, right? Maybe consider the possibility there might be a timeline in there where the freedom, maybe you won't be as free. Maybe you will be cohabitating with others for a certain amount of time. Maybe that's a possibility. And because the Shiva talks about, making the plan of how to prepare for the future. So we're going to move ahead. And let me see if this connects with something over here. Okay. Yeah, this Saturn is right on that 4th house cusp line in this chart. Okay. Mars goes through your 6th house of busy, moving, whether it's moving, but there's activity, there's action. It's Mars in Taurus, active with my values in the 6th house. And then Mercury's in the 7th house of my neighborhood, my local community, contracts, sales. So you said 1 month, so I'm assuming that means, yeah, by the end of July, you have to be out of there. Nodes at 5 in this chart. Okay, let me see where they are right now. They're at 6. We need Venus for your chart. Because see, Venus is your planet. In here. Venus enters domestic energy. Well, okay, so I want to see when this Venus is going to touch your Uranus in here. Because that should be... Because it's also conjunct your 9th house cusp line. Oh, I see. Okay. So in this energy, Venus will be going through a retrograde here. Okay. Where does she start retrograding? It's in Leo energy. Okay. I know this is confusing because in the other chart system, she does a retrograde in Scorpio. So I guess kind of ignore what I'm saying. But Venus is my money, my value, my creature comforts. And she's going to touch upon your Uranian energy mid-July. This is like July 12th, July 13th. So probably that weekend. Hopefully you get some information and some good news. Uranus and Pluto are in a nice trine in this chart. In Earth, which is important. And your Venus is 6 in Taurus in this other chart. Okay. And the nodes are going to be at 6. Again, ignore what you I'm talking the astrology out loud. But what this does is this creates a big T-square with the nodes and Venus. So it's going to take some. Yeah, what makes it difficult is you're not the only one involved in this. You know, you're kind of dependent upon other people. But the Venus in this chart that I'm looking at is also in the midst of like a beautiful trine from Jupiter. Yeah. So I'm hoping you hear something within this week, actually, because according to this other chart, the Venus up in the sky will be trining your natal Jupiter. You follow? And that's what we needed. We needed Venus to bring you some good news. And the nodes are getting lower, so it's the node trining your Jupiter as well at the same time. So I'm hoping within these next 2 weeks that you have some stability added to your life where you're like, okay, I know where I'm headed, if nothing more. I've packed everything labeled good. Yeah. Sheba my timbers. Yeah, I'm waiting for an official letter from new owner. Oh, good. Oh, you're already waiting. Oh, God. I thought you were just totally hanging out there in the wind and didn't know shit. Well, this says that you should be expecting good news. After all that. And Venus and Gemini Placidus. Yeah, in the chart that I have for the Vedic one, you have Venus in Taurus at 6 degrees. Yeah. Yep. You sure do. And your Jupiter is in Aries. And see, according to Vedic astrology right now, the nodes are already in Leo and Aquarius. That's why looking at both of them, man, it just paints this complete picture where it's like, okay, you know, again, it's not that one is wrong or better than the other, but seeing them both, especially when I can look at the 2 different charts for many people and they don't necessarily always support each other with the same events that are going to be occurring. You follow? But when they do, it's like, oh, you can take that to the bank then. You know? But the chart that I'm looking at, I use it according to, I still line it up. It's weird. I don't know how to explain this. It's the location of the planets for the Vedic, but I still use it on the round chart showing me the degrees, which normally in Vedic, you don't normally get the house degrees. You know, usually it's the rectangular chart and you don't normally get the house degrees, but I just leave it on my circular chart and I thought, holy shit. And I like the accuracy. So walking the timeline shifts. Yeah, absolutely. That's why it's great. Oh, you Venmo. Thank you so much for the gift. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. I was really thinking you had 30 days and you don't know what you're doing. And I thought, well, holy shit. But you're waiting for an official letter. Okay. So you've already connected the dots. Yeah. I'm so glad to hear that. And that's your stuff confirms it. Very good. Well, you best come back and let me know when you're in your new place and that you're all in and you're all good. Yeah. Oh, well, you looking at the chart, no wonder. You're in a bit of a flurry because on this other chart, those nodes up there that are angling, well, they're squaring your natal Venus in this chart. You follow? So it's a bit of a stress and tension struggle with my values, literally. And your Venus, because she's in Taurus, oh, that's like shaking the ground from under her feet. Venus doesn't like that one damn bit. Oh, hell no. That is not going to be good for her. Like she's, a Venus in Taurus, don't mess with my money, don't mess with my stability, don't mess with, like these things are important to her. Obviously sweets, but still chocolates and wine and whatnot. But I'm talking about the serious stuff, right? Yeah. What? Oh my God. My bank account has been drained by some criminal organization, so no money the bank puts it back in and it gets stolen again? Time to close that account, I would say. Oh, Lord, please never let that shit happen to me. Oh my God. I wonder if does the other chart show that? I'm going to have to look at that again sometime. Okay, so I have 15 letters still coming in with them explaining the process. Holy shit. Oh my God. The chaos that I mentioned. You have chaos conjunct. Oh my God, it's crazy. It's literally a spot on the chart that says chaos, and holy shit, you're in it. Oh my God, I'm so sorry that you're going through all this crazy shit. Okay, so I have time for one more reading, even though I'm actually over my timeline here, but let me see who was, I think, Gibson. Okay, Gibson, let me see who was after. Date of birth. May I please have a reading? Do you have a birth time and a location? So for this person, Jazz, date of birth, I need a location and a birth time, okay? So I'm going to keep scrolling, and if I don't have anybody here with their birth time and location, oh, Jazz has it all together. Look at this. My ex is getting divorced. Your ex getting divorced. Holy shit. I forgot to add time and place of birth. Yeah, yes, that's important. Are you still here? Correct, because once removed by false narrative. It's the blending. Oh, I didn't see that. Yes, that's exactly what it is, Gibson. It's the blending of the charts. It lifts the veil. Yes. Thank you for wording it that way. Wasn't very Cappy energy. Right. And so when you see the other chart, it's like, oh, okay. This really puts a whole different light on it, doesn't it? Like, wow. Okay, so is this gentleman or female here, Jazz, whoever this is, are you still here? Oh, yeah, you're still here. Okay, we got time for you. Excellent. Jazz wants to know, we'll be relocating from Canada to the UK where my family is. And if so, will I be successful? Okay. Whew, this is a big one. There's a lot involved in this. Let me take a look at. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't tell me anything else, though, okay? I mean, it's not, the astrology has to do the work. Otherwise, it's not astrology, right? Otherwise, it sucks. Otherwise, it's not worth our time. But I'm sorry to hear that your marriage of 33 years has failed. That means there's better things out there for you, better people, better experiences. I'm just saying. All things must come to an end. That's so shitty to hear, and especially when we've put in the time, and that's because we've grown. We've changed. That's what happens. I know that's a really simplistic and very emotionalist way of putting it all. So let's create your chart real quick. And let's put you in here. It's crazy, this technology, this Mercury retrograde. Oh, damn. Did you get them all together? There we go. March 7th, 1971. That's what I needed. Birth time, 2:20 a.m. And Punjab. Oopsie daisies. What is it telling me? Is it going to be a pain in my butt? OS. Oh, it doesn't want to. Have you seen your chart before? It's not recognizing HOSIARPUR, but did it say Angola? Was that right? Oh, let me see here. Sometimes the software does weird shit. Yeah, I don't know why it says that. What country? I mean, I don't know why I'm having difficulties, but it's just not. IAR? Is that, yeah. Okay, let me see what you got down here. Yeah, India was the very first thing I put in. It told me it didn't recognize it. And then it said, it put Angola in. And I'm like, okay, maybe I don't know. So that's why I'm saying, have you seen your chart before? Yeah, the software is nuts. It's telling me, with these Mercury retrogrades, you just don't know. So this is showing well, I'm not sure what kind of a chart system you've seen before. We're just going to go and pull up the other one. Okay, this is showing me. Oh, this is showing me a moon in Cancer energy. Wow, you got like big Merkaba energy in your chart. King, yeah. Solomon's star. Metatron, cube, thing. Sun in Aquarius at 22. This is what this is showing me in this chart system. Have you seen your chart before? And again, I have. Yes. Okay. Thank you. My God, I can save this. Thank God. It made it so difficult. It said it didn't exist, but then here it is. Sometimes I think the software is drunk. So you're going to be moving. Let me take a look at this basic chart. Oh, your nodes are at 0. Holy crap. Okay. Moon at 0, nodes at 0. Whoa. Okay, that means you have, wow. Okay. Well, this is fascinating. Yeah, because you have Jupiter going through the, not yet, but it will be going through the 8th house. So you want to know if you're going to be successful. I'm assuming that in your mind, that means with work. Where was that question? Does that mean with work? I'm going to Canada where my family is, and if so, will I be successful? Success with family, success with work and career, all of the above. Let me find. Oh, okay. So you got, wow. Yeah, you're going through a change in your values, your long term, like tradition comes up even. Okay. And Pluto, changing who and what you value, changing work. Oh, Pluto. An end and then a beginning. Love, long-term relationship, Pluto and Venus. Okay. Because that's all conjunct the second house, cusp line here. Okay. All right. Well, you're going to have the nodes on your node. Wow. So you're having a nodal return. Whew. It's interesting how so many people that showed up today, the nodal return, like 2 degrees in Aquarius and Leo, all of y'all showed up today. Pretty wild. But not. I guess that's how we know this shit's legit, huh? And you'll have Jupiter on your south node at that time too. Wow. Okay. Jupiter is definitely about my future. Connecting to deep bonded energy, tribal energy, but the past and people who I am literally bonded with. Blood bonds. Yeah. Okay. Now, because your nodes are being are being triggered, this is to align you up with your soul's goals. It means this change had to happen. It can be stressful. It's a time of reassessing your connections with individuals and groups with a view to moving on with your life purpose. So when people use the word success, I'm not sure what their definition is of success, okay? Everybody's is different. So any individual or group standing in your path is liable to be pushed out of the way as you seek new experiences. It's not easy to let go of links from the past, particularly if one feels frightened of new experiences without the safety of the past alliances. But if you can focus on the future rather than the past, you will discover that as one door closes, multiple doors open. These connections are more likely to be your social or group associations rather than intimate ones. It could mean reassessing your life goals. You follow? Because Jupiter is all about the future, and Jupiter gives us confidence. Jupiter gives us confidence. Now, as far as success, so friends and networking, and if you're working or if you're planning on working, or even if just group energy in general, right? You are connecting and aligning with your soul's goal. So in my mind, absolutely, it's a success just with that alone. Because for me, astrologically, I wish everybody would ask that question in terms of, am I on the path of my soul's goal? Like, to me, that's really the only astrology that matters, honestly. But it's because people just want to hear about their love life and their jobs and their money, that's what I do for readings, right? Because that's all people want to hear about. They don't care about the other shit, at least not the ones not everybody, but majority of people. So for me, that's definitely successful energy. You just have to be willing to, like the software said when I read it, to focus on the future. And Jupiter has the ability to give you the focus power. That's one of the beautiful gifts of Jupiter energy, other than the confidence, is the ability to focus, to seek, to search, to learn the truth, to see the truth, to hear the truth, to know the truth. It knows it's going on an adventure. And so it will liven that up for you. It will spark things up. Yeah, you will have Saturn going right now in this chart that I'm looking at. You do have Saturn, which is a planet of work and responsibilities and duty. So far, like a lot of people so far in these readings today. Sometimes that can feel heavy. And in particular for you, it'll probably feel heavy in terms of in your brain. So in other words, a lot of it is about the thought and the sensitivities to your values and the responsibilities connected to values. But work, Saturn is work in our career, literally. So you have Saturn making contact with your Chiron, the wounded healer in your chart. It's in the 3rd house. So sometimes it can be afraid of a new environment, afraid of new communications. There can be difficulties in learning or confusion even. And sibling energy comes up, 3rd house. But it's at a Venus degree, which usually brings in some harmony. But because Saturn is there, there's something that's heavy. It could even be boss and authority figure. It can be parental energy, mom or dad. But I got to say, it is, I think you have support here. Because as the Saturn goes through its retrograde, it's connecting nicely with your Venus. And in this chart, your Venus is important. That is the planet that went through the big change with Pluto, right? In the ending that you just had. So this Venus having a connection with the Saturn, it talks about long-term, tried, true, and tested love and value energy. But it doesn't mean that it's just all, unicorns and candy canes and ice cream. And, it just means there's some work there. Saturn's there, some duty and some responsibility. But because you have the node in your 2nd house in this chart, that does talk about how I receive an income, finances, and money. Aquarian energy is connected to social systems. So whatever those systems are, what are you, 1971? So whatever sort of support system, whether that's somebody who's might be facing retirement, Social Security type of energy. Now that's what we call it here in the US or whatever. Anyway, let's not go there. So you also have Uranus up in the sky touching in on your Juno, which is partnerships. And it's domestic energy, but it's also connected to Taurus. It's financial energy. So I think you have a lot of earth energy that is supportive, which is good for stability, especially for somebody who's moving from one country to another. You have to be willing to not be very rigid or fixed. You have to be willing to be flexible because Venus energy She's smart. She's smart when she's in Capricorn, especially. But you also have some Taurus stuff, like domestic wise. So when you move, does that mean you're going to have to share space with somebody, or you're just going to live close by? But being flexible. Taurus has a hard time being flexible with who and what it values. This is in regard to the past and the future. Learning to be flexible. And it's Uranus, the planet of surprises and shocks, the planet that comes in and says, this has been this way for too long. It's become crystallized. I have to shatter it. That's what Uranus's job is, to shatter what's become crystallized. And it did. And so now it promises new and fresh. And that's what you're going to be doing. New and fresh, a new location, a new place, new people, and maybe even new work or a new work environment. It's possible. You have strong earth stuff in this chart. You have a nice earth trine. When people have a strong earth trine, yeah, they have a tendency to be able to create, to generate their values because it's more stability in their life. They have more stability around them. They're able to, it's just easier. So I hope that has helped, and we are out of time, folks. We do this every week. We do this on the weekend. So Saturday night we'll be live, 7 p.m. Central Time, and then we'll be back again next week. During the week, Monday through Friday, it's a surprise live. It's usually around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. I don't think I've done one on a Thursday or Friday yet. But you just never know. You got to have your alerts on if you want to be available for the live streams and to catch me. Or you can look me up for a private live reading. It's the same exact thing as this, except it's done privately. It's a very small group of people. I don't take a lot of people for it, but we do it one Saturday a month. It's like the last Saturday or the fourth Saturday of every month we do that. And then the second Saturday we do astrology classes together. And that's private as well. So anything, questions, if you're interested in anything, the email's on the screen. Check the spelling on that for allastrologee@gmail.com. I'd be happy to answer your questions. And for anybody whose chart I didn't get to, yeah, if I didn't get to you, just come on back for next time and we'll get you done. All right. I have been traumatized. Yes, absolutely. And the question becomes, how far am I going to allow the trauma to go to affect me? Because that kind of trauma, that's a betrayal trauma. You know what I'm saying? And, it's interesting. I was just hearing this woman talk today, and I've heard her talk thousands of times before in other talks that she gives. And it just so happened that today she was talking about finances and money and love and betrayals. But she was explaining it in terms of the physical body. And her words were, she said that where it hits us is our second chakra. And she said, and that's going to be, part of the digestive system, the colon, the lower back. She was explaining like all these different ways that it can manifest in the body. And she said, trauma happens, but what people don't understand is if they don't allow themselves to get out of it and to stop replaying it, if they don't allow themselves to do that, it'll manifest up in their body. But they don't realize that because, they don't understand that every time they think of the trauma, that it's like going out to your garden and adding water to the plants. So we're helping them grow. We're giving them sunlight. We're giving them food. We're helping it grow. So whatever it is that we're helping it grow, either way, we're helping it grow. And she said, and people don't realize that. because, well, the energy is invisible, right? So we don't see it happening. But it's fascinating. It was the first time out of all the times I've heard her talk, this was the first time that I heard her say this today. And that was just literally before I began the live stream today. So take it for what you will. Hopefully it helps somebody. All right, everybody. We're all done. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everybody who sent channel gifts. It allows me to keep doing what I do. It allows me to keep helping those who can't afford an astrology reading. $300 for an astrology, probably more, $300 for 90 minutes or some shit. So you coming in here, you can get time with me and people who are able to send a channel gift, and then I can keep doing this to help others. All right, everybody, take care. Bye-bye.